Hello lovely people, welcome back to the channel. My name is Shawn, and on this channel I create content that inspires you to maximize your potential, explore your creative side, and just be the best you can be. Something I call being more, doing more, and having more. I invite you to subscribe. Now let's get into it. The last video I did was obviously for people who are interested in going that further step from just capturing videos with their cameras or with their phones to learning how to edit, because editing is actually what gets you into telling stories with the content you create. So in other words, if you know how to capture videos or take photographs and you don't know how to edit them, then you're just very good at capturing moments, but you're not yet a storyteller. As a storyteller, you have the skills to be able to put together different elements, mix it all up with what you've captured and created, and make your content resonate more deeply, connect with people, and have a better impact. Now, one of the common problems that people who start videography face is how to get steady footage with your camera. Now, unless you're using like an action camera or like the DJI Pocket 3 that already have some form of inbuilt stabilization, either electronic inbuilt stabilization like you have with action cameras, or mechanical stabilization like you have with the DJI Pocket 3, which I have here. So it doesn't matter whether you're using a DSLR camera like this or you're using your mobile phone. This video is all about showing you how to get steady footage, because that's one of the questions that I had as I was developing in my filmmaking or videography career, and it was a topic to explore. What are some of the best ways to get stable footage when you're capturing video? And this is a very important skill or tip that you need to elevate the level and the quality of your filmmaking of your videos. Luckily for us today, there are a lot of devices. The common devices that people use to make videos these days have some form of stabilization, right? So you're talking about like the iPhones and the Samsungs. The high-end phone cameras have really good in-body stabilization, electronic image stabilization, but not all of us have access to those devices. So you may be using like just a regular, maybe a mid-range phone or a low-end phone that doesn't have that very fantastic in-body stabilization, and maybe you're not using a DJI Pocket 3 that has a mechanical gimbal to keep your footage steady, and maybe you're not using like an action camera like the DJI Osmo Action 4 action cameras and the GoPros. Maybe a camera like this, or your regular mobile phone, or just any device you find yourself with. It's important to know these things even if you have those kind of devices that have stabilization. I just want to show you a few things, a few tips and tricks to getting very steady footage. So the first thing is to learn how to just become, first of all, more aware of your body and whether you're the type of person who shakes a lot or whether you have sufficient control to be able to hold your hand steady. Some people naturally, they have tremors, they tremble, whenever they're trying to balance something. So some people's hands are always shaking like this, while some people are very steady, right? Some people are very good, their fine motor skills is very good, and they're able to hold things carefully, gently, without shaking too much. And some people, they can't really hold it together. So first of all, it's just to develop the awareness of the kind of person you are and to know. So you need to try it out and see, hold the camera, and see, hold your phone and try to take some sample footage and see just how bad it is, just how bad your shaking is. And then the next thing to do is to learn how to hold the camera in a way that is steady. So I'll demonstrate with the mirrorless camera like this, and then I'll also demonstrate with the mobile phone. So for the mirrorless camera, what I usually suggest is, or the way I go about it, or the thing I learned that helped and it comes recommended, and I think you should try, use your elbows to grab your trunk like this. So let me drop the camera first and show you. So you first practice holding your sides with your elbows, with the inner part of your arm, right? The inner part of your arm, you use it to grab your trunk and use that to stabilize your arms. So that's one way to go about it. So whether you're using a mirrorless camera or a DSLR camera, or whether you're using a mobile phone, you know, like this, keep your arms closely gripping your trunks, the side of your trunk. That helps to stabilize your arm. That's one technique. First technique is using your inner arms, the inner side of your arms around your elbows to grab your trunk. That is one way to go about it. Now the second thing I'm going to show you is how to hold the camera itself. One way to do it is to rest the device on the palm of your hand. So you can see, if you're using a mirrorless camera or a DSLR camera like this, I usually hold it resting on the palm of my hand. This gives you a more steady hold on your camera than holding it like this or like this or like this or any other way. You know, the chances of the camera shaking any other way is that way. But if you rest it on your palm, mind you, you're already gripping, you're using your side of your arm to grip your trunk. That already provides some stabilization from this point, and then now you have the camera resting on your palm. You know, when you move, you can get a more steady shot this way. If you're taking a video with your camera phone or your phone camera, it's the same thing. Hold it this way, stretch out your hands and place the camera right on top of your palm. So this way, I hope you can see. Rest it this way and take your video. So this provides extra stability when you're taking a video, and even if you're moving forward or backward, you know, you can, even if you have to raise it up a little higher, the key point is to have your elbows still gripping your side. If you raise it up a little higher this way, you can also still get good footage. I'm having to crouch here just because I want you to see it in the camera, but yeah, if you raise it up a little higher, you can also get steady footage. Now this third tip is, as much as possible, move with your feet. If you need to zoom in and out or pan, move with your feet rather than with your arms. So let's say I wanted to zoom into something in front of me. Instead of pushing away my arms from the side of my body, I'll still hold my arms to the side of my body and use my feet to zoom in and to zoom out. So, I mean, this is a sacrifice you have to make for getting steady footage, right? Sometimes you have to look funny or look weird, you know, so you move forward with your feet rather than just doing this way. When you do like this, the chances of your hands shaking, my hands are already shaking this way. Same thing with the mirrorless or DSLR camera. You know, if you want to zoom in, move in this way with your knees forward or your feet forward slowly, rather than just going like this or going like this. So try to keep your body, move your whole body as a unit, rather than just separating your arms from your waist. Those are 3 tips I've shared right now, and I'm going to share a couple more. So guys, in the first half or the first part of this video, before I stopped the camera just now, I had my fan on and I made a mental note to switch off the fan so that I reduce the background noise when I'm recording, and I forgot totally. So the chances that you're going to hear a lot of noise in the first part of the video is high. However, in my last video I talked about an awesome software called CapCut. CapCut has a very fantastic way of separating the sound of vocals of your voice from background noise, and I've used it countless of times to clean up my audio. So in case I'm playing the video back and the audio in the beginning part sounds just as nice as this part, that's because I was able to clean it up in CapCut by separating the vocals from background noise and getting rid of the background noise. Just wanted to leave that tip, and probably in another video I'll show you how I clean up my audio in CapCut. The fourth tip is to use a camera strap, and this applies whether you're using a DSLR or whether you're using a phone camera. Many mirrorless cameras or DSLR cameras, when you buy them, they come with this strap. So this one is from Sony, and it's usually something that you attach to the sides of the camera to hold it, so that you can hold it around your neck like this. It takes a while to connect it, and I'm not going to do that, but I'm just going to demonstrate, and I hope you understand. So imagine this is already strapped to the camera. I'm going to use my fingers to hold it. This provides extra stability. Now, if you combine it with the tips I gave earlier, you're going to get even more steady footage, which is to hold the side of your trunk or your body with your arms, and then you pull it forward. Now pull it so that there's tension around the back of your neck Now, when you move, you can already feel and see that the camera is moving so much more steadier than if you just held it like this and there's some slack here. This slack here is not going to help your camera to stay steady, so you pull it against your neck, at the back of your neck, like this. Whether you're going forward or backward, panning or whatever motion you're trying to do, this provides extra stability. And the same applies if you're using your phone. So you could go online and check. There are some straps that you can attach to your phone, especially if you are a serious videographer and you're using your phone. You can look for phone cases that allow you to fix straps on them and put it around your neck. If I find a picture of it, I'll put it on the screen, but you get the idea. The point is that you need to be able to hold something against your neck and strap it, hold it tight. So that's the fourth tip. Now, the last two tips are more costly, more resource intensive because you have to spend a little money. But the first, of course, is obviously to get a gimbal. And I'll show you what I mean by a gimbal in case you don't know. But this is a gimbal. This is the Weebill S, Zhiyun Weebill S, very solid. What they do is that they stabilize the camera motion. They use some form of technology and mechanics. I don't want to go into all the details. Basically, you can balance your camera on this and it helps you to get steady motion. So do a little digging and research into gimbals. They're not that expensive, to be honest, especially if you buy an older model, but they are going to cost you some money. There are pros and cons to using gimbals. Even though I have gimbals, like I have this other smaller one here, you can put an action camera or a mobile phone on it. So there are gimbals for mobile phones, and I'm sure you've heard about the Osmo Mobile. So there are several gimbals. There's the Osmo Mobile, there's this, and I have this Zhiyun S here. Even though I have them, I don't use them as much because they are a bit technical, a bit difficult to set up, especially the older models. The newer ones are much more easier. The technology has improved. Then the other thing is that sometimes they affect the way you shoot. Sometimes you can get carried away with using gimbals and you lose sight of the value of having stabilized, steady, static shots, and all you want to do is just keep moving and moving and moving. So for cinematic footage and storytelling, you need to have a combination of shots. Sometimes you need to be moving and therefore you need steady shots, and sometimes you need to have your camera staying steady, but we'll go into that in another video. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the tried and tested, long time proven method of keeping your footage steady, which is to use a tripod. A basic thing that every filmmaker or videographer, even photographer, should have. But sometimes, you know, you want to make videos and you don't want to carry around a lot of gear. So this video basically is speaking to people who maybe it's just a run and gun situation where you just want to move, you know, you don't think too much about gear, and so you find yourself without a tripod. So the first few tips I gave are for those kind of situations whereby you don't have the time or the resources to, you know, get a tripod out, but it's something that you should have. It should be like part of the basic gear you have, because it really does help elevate the quality of your shots. When I started my filmmaking journey, I was so captivated with using gimbals and, you know, all those, the creative motion that you get with moving and all that. So I didn't really realize how useful or how important a tripod was, even though I had a tripod. But over time, as I've improved and I've learned, and I realized that, you know, when you're doing visual storytelling through filming, you need a combination of different types of shots. You don't just need, you know, all the panning and motion shots. Sometimes you need a steady, static shot. Sometimes that alone tells so much more than all the moving shots. And so a tripod is really critical. And, you know, as for a tripod, you may get the standard tripod that comes with 3 legs and a stand with a ball head that allows you to rotate and so on. But you can also find anything at all that can work as a tripod. There are different types of tripods out there. Even something as small as this is a tripod. If you have a phone grip, all you just need to do is put it on there and rest it on the table. And if you have all these ones that extend very well, then you can use those as well. So that's it for today, guys. How you can get more steady footage, more steady clips or videos as a beginner filmmaker or videographer. This is a follow-on to the video I did earlier, which is really focused on beginners in filmmaking and videography. I took some time to just go back to when I started, and I realized that there are quite a lot of questions that I had then, which I was able to find answers to. And so I'm hoping that this video also helps you to find answers to them. So just in case you're out there and one of your questions has been, how can I get more steady footage? I don't have money to get a gimbal, or even if I do have a gimbal, I just want to learn more about having steady footage, because it's really foundational and fundamental. I hope this video helps. I started off by talking about, first of all, being aware of yourself and knowing how your body moves, knowing how much control you have over your body when you're holding items, to know if you have a steady hand or you have a shaky hand. So you just know how much more you need to improve. And then I talked about learning how to grip the sides of your body with the inner parts of your arm as also a foundation of steady handheld shots. I also talked about moving as a unit, your whole body as a unit. If you need to move forward or pan from side to side, don't move your hands away from your body and do like this. Just keep it all together and use your knees and your feet to move and to pan and to go from place to place if you need to get from place to place or zoom in. And then I also spoke about using a gimbal. You can have a gimbal, small gimbals, large gimbals, whatever. There are so many of them. You need to go out there and do the research. They cost a little bit more, so they're not cheap, but they're not so expensive either, but they're very good to have, good to know how to use them. And then I talked about using a tripod, tried and tested. It's one of the basic tools that every filmmaker or videographer should have. I hope I've not forgotten all the tips. I feel like there's one more I'm forgetting, but just in case there is one I'm forgetting, you can always rewind this video and watch it again from the beginning. Your views, your likes, your comments, they really help my channel to grow. So if you like this video, if you found it useful, please drop a comment, share it to somebody who you think will benefit from it. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Let's work together to be more, to do more, to have more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.